Have you ever wondered, while sitting in a classroom surrounded by books and notes, if what you're learning in school really gets you ready for life outside the classroom? If all this hard work will turn into useful skills and knowledge you can use in the real world? We spend years memorizing facts, dates, formulas, and big ideas, gathering information that often feels disconnected from real life. But we rarely use them to solve real problems or in actual situations we'll face in our work and personal lives. How can we connect what we learn with what we do? The world needs creativity, new ideas, and the ability to think outside the box, to come up with original ideas and clever solutions. It also needs teamwork and being able to change, the skill to work with others, to talk clearly, and to adjust to constant changes around us. These are skills often missing in traditional schooling, where the focus is on memorizing and repeating, instead of thinking deeply and solving problems. Many students do great on tests, getting high scores and showing they know the subject well in theory. But they find it hard to work in teams, cooperate with their classmates, and add good ideas to a shared project, or to solve real-world challenges, use their knowledge in tricky situations, and find new ways to fix things. This isn't a failure of students or teachers who work hard to share knowledge and prepare young people for the future. Instead, it's about a system that values just listening over doing things, memorizing over understanding, and ideas over practice. Imagine an education that gets you ready for life, that gives you the tools and skills you need to face real-world challenges. Not just for tests, but to build a successful and meaningful future. That's the promise of project-based learning, or PBL, a method that aims to connect learning with real life. Let's explore how PBL can bridge the gap between school and the real world, making education a more relevant and meaningful experience. So what exactly is project-based learning? Simply put, PBL is learning by doing. Students tackle real-world projects that matter to them. In PBL, the project is the learning, not just an add-on at the end. Students investigate complex questions, work in teams, and create solutions with a real impact. For example, instead of just memorizing facts about local government, students might ask, how can we make our neighborhood parks better? And then work to actually do it. PBL mirrors how adults learn and solve problems, by researching, collaborating, experimenting, and learning from mistakes. This approach makes learning relevant, urgent, and deeply engaging. PBL prepares students for life, not just for more school. A great project is built, not just with materials, but with clear ideas and goals, on some key pillars. These pillars hold up the learning structure, making sure it's strong and meaningful. First, a tough question, one that really matters, one that sparks curiosity, that makes them want to explore and discover, and can't be answered with a quick search. It needs deep thinking and lots of research. Second, ongoing research, a deep dive into the topic. Students dig deeper, research, check facts, and make conclusions based on what they find. And they change their ideas as they learn. Changing things is key for growing and understanding. Third, realness, connecting to the real world. The project connects to real problems or real-world audiences, people who will benefit from the students' work, which makes the work important, giving it a clear and valuable purpose. Students could create an ad using their creativity and communication skills for a public service announcement for the local radio, talking about an important community issue, or design a product for their community, finding a need and creating a new solution. The students' voice and choice are super important, their active part in the process. Students help shape the project, making decisions and taking on tasks, and they decide how to do it, helping them be independent and solve problems. Finally, a public product, something they can proudly show off. Students share their work, what they found, and what they learned, with an audience outside the classroom getting feedback and praise for their effort. This raises expectations, pushing students to do better, and it makes them want to do high-quality work, showing their hard work and dedication. These pillars make projects more than just tasks. They become powerful learning experiences that change how students see the world. PBL isn't just about fun activities, it's about deep and meaningful learning. It's about real learning that sticks, preparing students for success in the future. Subscribe to our channel for more new ideas in education. Hit the like button on this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. In PBL, the teacher's role changes a lot. They're no longer the only source of information, but a key helper for learning. From a traditional lecturer, giving long talks, to a guide, a helper who helps students find and build their own knowledge. Teachers design cool projects, carefully made to spark students' curiosity and interest. They ask questions that make you think deeply, that challenge students to think beyond what's obvious and connect different ideas. And they support students as they work, offering guidance and tools, but without forcing solutions. They encourage students to be independent and responsible. Instead of long talks, which are often boring and hard to remember, teachers offer short, focused workshops made to meet specific needs and give practical skills. And they talk to the teams all the time, giving helpful feedback and constant encouragement to get past problems. They create a culture where drafts, honest feedback, and constant review are normal, a big part of learning. Mistakes are not seen as failures, but as good chances to learn and grow. Teachers actively help students work together well, think deeply about the information they find, and keep going through the tricky parts that come up in any project. They show real curiosity and open-mindedness, learning alongside their students and showing that learning is a never-ending journey. The teacher's experience is important, not to strictly control the learning process, but to help students take charge of their own learning and make it their own with confidence and excitement. In PBL, teachers are creative builders of meaningful and life-changing learning experiences. Think about your own school days. What project would have made learning really matter to you? Maybe you loved music, and you could have organized a charity concert, learning about event planning and teamwork. Or maybe you cared about the environment and wanted to design a school recycling program. Imagine creating an oral history archive, interviewing the elders in your community. What skills would you have gained? How might it have changed your view of school? Reflecting on this helps us see the power of connecting learning with real passions and problems. These are the types of projects we can offer students today. The real impact of PBL is seen in action. High school students became investigative journalists, analyzing river water, interviewing experts, and creating documentaries to inform their community. High school students explored immigration by collecting oral histories, analyzing data, and building a museum exhibit for the public. Even third graders designed a more inclusive playground, surveying their classmates, building models, and presenting ideas to school leaders. In each case, students weren't just learning, they were making a difference. Their work was real, covered many subjects, and was valued by real audiences. PBL changes students from passive learners to active creators. It shows them that their ideas have real power. PBL helps students learn skills that last a lifetime. Students learn to talk with others, work together, and solve tricky problems. These are skills every boss wants. They practice thinking deeply, being creative, and bouncing back as they work on real challenges. PBL helps students become more independent. They take charge of their own learning and see themselves as people who can make a real difference. They learn to have a growth mindset, learning from mistakes, and always trying to get better. Projects often connect students with their communities, which makes them care about their town and feel like they have a purpose. The good things that come from PBL go way beyond schoolwork. It helps kids become confident and ready to take action. One great project can change a student's life. Doing project-based learning isn't easy. It takes time, planning, and help. Teachers need time to create good projects and work with their co-workers. Handling a busy and active classroom needs new ways of doing things and new skills. How we grade also changes. Projects are graded with rubrics, feedback, and thinking about your own work, not just with right or wrong answers. Big problems in the school system, like strict lesson plans and pressure from tests, can make project-based learning hard. To get past these problems needs leaders who give support, flexible schedules, and a school culture that values deep learning. The challenges are real, but we can overcome them. With dedication and teamwork, schools can make project-based learning happen. We started by asking if school gets us ready for the real world. Project-based learning gives a strong answer. It changes classrooms into places where things are actively made and have a real effect. PBL is more than just a passing trend. It's a change in how we think about learning and teaching. It gives power to students, changes the teacher's role, and builds skills for a future we can't predict. Yes, there are challenges, but the rewards are worth it. The question now is, are we ready to go beyond tests and start getting students ready for life? The future is built one important project at a time. The choice is ours. Subscribe to our channel for more new ideas and education. Hit the like button on this video and share your thoughts in the comments. Which skill connects most with your teaching? Which one seems hardest to develop? Your ideas and questions help build our learning community and inspire what we'll cover next. Together, we can change education, one teacher, one classroom, one student at a time. The future of learning is in our hands.